Welcome back. Let us go to a ratio scale, which is the last scale among the four scales or the 4 units of measurement. When it comes to ratio scale, there are so many good examples. And let us go to the first example. In your research, you might request the respondents to reveal their income. If lucky, the respondents gonna enter their estimated annual income in a blank space for you. Since income is a sensitive piece of information, it is not surprising that some respondents might choose to skip this question in your research. So again, income is a very classic example of ratio scale because, as you will see, income actually has an absolute zero or has a true zero. Another example that is very relevant to the field of education is a question or item related to hours the respondent spend on extensive reading per week, and you might invite the participant to enter the actual hours that they devote to extensive reading per week outside the classroom. So if they on average spend 3 hours per week, they're gonna enter 3 hours. If they spend 5 hours and a half, they are going to enter 5 hours and a half for you. So once again, hours devoted to extensive reading or hours spent on exercise per day can be a very good example of ratio scale also. The third example, for social researcher, they might want to know the number of children, a mother have or a father have or parents have, and they might formulate this item in their research. What is the number of children you have, or how many children do you have? Please enter the actual number. So once again, the number of children parents have illustrates the employment of a ratio scale in order to capture the number of children. So example number 4 is related to the number of days a holiday maker, a local holiday maker, on average spends when they visit a province or overseas. So you ask, the respondent to enter the average number of days they spend, in the provinces where they pay a visit to. So the number of days is actually a ratio because it implies the concept of absolute zero. We can make a comparison again, between male groups and female group. We can compare whether male group, spend twice as many days, or female groups spend twice or spend 3 times as many days as another group when they visit the provinces. So now let us go to some properties of the ratio scale. The first property of ratio scale is the concept of equal gaps, right? The gap between 1 day to 2 days is equal to the gap between 2 days to 3 days. And the gap between 2 to 3 days, exactly equals to the gap between 3 days to 4 days. So here we are talking about the average number of days, a local holiday maker, spend in the provinces or overseas. So the first property of the ratio scale is exactly the same as the property of the interval scale that we talked about a little bit earlier. However, the second property of the ratio scale is in opposite direction to that of the interval scale. For the interval scale, its zero is not true, its zero is not zero, its zero is not absolute. Oppositely, in the context of the ratio scale, its zero is true, its zero is absolute, there is a true zero, right? Therefore, when zero is absolute, we can make any comparison as we wish. For example, Dara has collected 40 coins, Sokha has collected 80 coins. So the number of coins, ladies and gentlemen, is really measured by a ratio scale, so it has an absolute zero. So can we make a comparison in this context? Yes, we can make a comparison. It is very safe to make such a comparison. So we can say Dara has collected half as many coins as Sokha has done so. Or we can say Sokha has collected twice as many coins as Dara has. So this is a safe comparison. We have the foundation, we have a justification to make such a comparison simply because the number of coins is measured by a ratio scale. The last example that we can make a comparison again, if males on average spend 2 days visiting a province or overseas, and females on average spend 4 days visiting a province or overseas, we can say that females on average spend twice as many days as a male on holiday making, on vacation. So I hope this short talk contributes to a better understanding of ratio scale as well as relevant concepts.